Hello.
Mm.
All right. Welcome. Welcome to this weird section today. Normally we are having sections on the weekend, but it was a crazy weekend. I don't know for you guys, but for me it was extremely crazy. So I was not able to meet up. So I said, okay, if I'm analyzing within the week, I will send the link so that you guys can also join me. All right. So I'm not going to be teaching today, like how we do in the normal sections. Instead, I'm going to be analyzing. That is, I will be discussing and also showing what I think on the charts, which I also expect you guys to give your opinions too. So it's not like I'm just here to dictate my analysis or just tell you what I think. I expect you guys to also engage, tell me what you think and from what you have learned also, how, you know, you are also understanding what I'm doing. Okay, so this is Euro USD on the monthly time frame. I don't have a perspective for the week. I'm just starting the month with you all, so I've not done anything yet. But I want to ask you guys, from anybody who have done a top-down analysis for the month since we started a new month. Okay, Tega, how you doing? Tega is in the chat. He said it's bearish.
I've done analysis on GU and it's bearish.
Oh, okay, okay, nice. Looking at the monthly, this is the monthly time frame now. And let me just see where are we coming from? What's happening? This year has been very, very confusing, extremely confusing. And you can see basically from the candlesticks itself, you can see there's no momentum in this year. Like it's just one place. We started 2024 here. And you can see the entire year has just been on. So I think it's affecting everybody. Same way it's affecting the market. It's just everybody feels this. There's this stuffy energy around. Everybody's just feeling stuffy. But in all, I think the market is looking bullish from the internal perspective. Because if you look at this range, we still have a lot of space within premium. One, this is monthly time frame, and this is discounts. We still have a lot of space within premium. One. Secondly, this is a resistance zone from way back. This is a resistance zone from like way back. And if it's going to hold, it's not going to be giving all this reaction. We are having too many reactions right now from this zone to say it might hold, because from the look of it, you can see there was a first push down, then price came back up, and it's still looking like it's going to have a break at some point. Because if you look at the range also, the next resistance level is also around this zone, which I think this fair value gap on the 3 months time frame, you see, it's looking like a fair value gap. Let me take everything out. And we are at the equilibrium level of the range. I mean, the overall is bearish. We know it's bearish. We're heading to probably around this zone, where this. But at the same time, I still think this guy might want to just take out some liquidity before going back down. And this month, this previous 3 months has looked like it might clear out these highs, completely. So I think from the monthly, the trend is bearish, even if the overall direction is bearish. But internally, I think it's bullish. Internally, I still think the range is still bullish. It's still heading towards maybe around this area, you know. Let me keep it this way. And we are using this as a pool of liquidity, like an accumulation. and a manipulation will be coming in anytime soon, probably clearing out this guy, clearing out this guy, something like this. So let's go down to the weekly. Let's see a more reasonable data. All right, so looking at the weekly time frame, this low is the most recent low, and this is the most recent high. So we'll be looking at the premium and discount of this. Why we look at this? Because that was the official high that broke a previous swing low. So if the structure was to be bearish, it would be to continue this range from this point. So that would be price clearing out this high, having this as the other block zone. And then we would say, now I want you guys to give your honest opinion on this. Do you think this was the clearing out of the liquidity and this was the official mitigation, but price failed to create an official lower low and switched bullish? Now we have a break of structure and price might be looking to do something like this. Or do you think this is the liquidity and this is the mitigation, sorry, and price will be heading to clear out this low as liquidity? Which perspective do you think is more accurate? Anybody can unmute the microphone or use the chat box. So, which do you think would be more logical to work with? I mean, if you look at the structure
Okay.
from here. Okay, someone wants to say something. Go on, go on.
Yes, I said. Yeah, from my own perspective, I think the correct should be bearish because it created an internal range liquidity and took it out. So what you should be expecting from that range, from that zone, that supply zone, is to go lower.
That's true. That's true. Because this is an internal high. This is the
Yes,
official high. This will be clearing out an internal high. Yes, that's true. And if you look at this from let's say two weeks candlestick perspective, this will just be a week because 1 week did the stop hunt, the other week closed, below the official high. So it would look more like this did not happen. And then if you look at it from the line chart, it will look more like this one did not mitigate this. And this mitigation was a manipulation. For example, look, you see? So this guy will be like the official liquidity to the break of structure. This one cleared liquidity, this one cleared liquidity, created liquidity, trend line liquidity, and then this will be like a mitigation. So I think I'm with you also because it did not break the high. And then this would be bearish. What I'm doing here is that I'm trying to make it look more like we are analyzing. Do you understand? I'm not here to just draw my lines and draw everything and then, tell you what I think. I want us to do it together so you can also start learning how this is done. Do you understand?
yes,
So most of you are already starting your own channels now. You're already teaching people as well. So I want you to not just look at this as a class where I'm just sharing my thoughts and teaching you what I think. Look at it more like a training for you to become an educator. Like, we need to start seeing this as an industry. Do you understand? The same way we see the musicians sing songs and then post, that's how we do recordings as well. So you need to know how to communicate, know how to teach people because this is different from just singing your music or recording a video. This is trying to make people learn and become aware of certain things, certain criteria, like this being liquidity. Do you understand? So you need to know how to
yes,
explain yourself as well. You know, you need to know how to express it from an angle where others can also see what you are trying to identify and why. Do you understand? Most of these things are very, very, very important too when it comes to teaching. So you can know how to groom your, and I didn't learn anything. I didn't learn any of these things from anywhere. I learned it from basically doing this thing. If you most watch some of the videos from way back, you notice that it's not the same with the way we are doing it now. That's because I've took a lot of time into understanding myself, you know, and also trying to understand how this whole social media system works, and knowing that I'm doing this for the long run. That's the most important part. I'm not just trying to show people that I'm a Forex trader. I'm hustling. Let's put it that way. I'm building my platform. Do you understand? So you need to start seeing it like you're here to not just learn how to trade, but also learn how to construct and build your own platform. Do you understand? So take some notes and learn how to trade at the same time. Multiple streams of income is the best kind of income. I'm telling you. Because if you only know how to trade, at some point you'll be interrupted with reality. You won't always have that time or that mental state to always trade. But if you have multiple streams of income, you won't force yourself to trade. You will just trade when you
That's
feel
true.
like you can trade. Do you understand? Right
Yes,
now,
yes.
Telegram is offering a very big opportunity by letting those channels pay. So I'm still watching it and trying to understand how fast it grows. But based on the engagement, it now pays. Do you understand? So it means the job is now real. It's no longer, hoping that one day that kind of stuff happens. It happens and it's working. Do you understand? So now you have to start seeing it different from just trying to learn how to trade. Instead, you're now trying to also learn how to gain attention, you understand? And also learn how to become valuable so people can engage with you as well. And then you can also grow your own platform. Yeah. We would be doing more of this. You understand? We'll be having conversations like this too, because I like to be plain. Do you understand? This whole industry is very, very diverse. And I'm on my own, minding my business. And that's how life should be. Not trying to get attention by posting your cars and shoes and trying to make people think what's that for? Do you get? If you're valuable, why do you have to make so much noise? The loudest in the room is not always that's it. Okay, let me show you another perspective. If you look at this chart from the candlesticks, I love using candlesticks too because they say the truth. Sorry, line charts. Are you guys seeing what I'm doing?
Yes.
Did you notice how easy it would be to identify the structure and what's going on if you were using
Using
line
the
chart?
line chart.
Do you understand? You see,
Yes.
manipulations are cleared away. You can see things clearly. So this was the previous structure. This was the break of structure. We're not saying this is what officially was happening because the candlestick will tell you a different thing. But at the same time, this can't be valid now. We are clearly seeing what's going on here. So this has to be valuable to your analysis as well. Because if you look at the structure now, this is mitigating this zone, and then this is also having this area of interest. So if it happens that price does not, where is the only point right now? Where is the only point structure can go? The only direction structure can go. That's down.
Yes.
Do you understand? That's down. Because if you look at it, we are currently at we just cleared out an external high. Let's call this an external high of the daily because this is the weekly. And then what happens after an external high liquidity has been cleared out? We expect retracements into discount. Now, at the same time, we just mitigated an external strong high of the weekly. This would be the internal, the daily high,
Yes.
the weekly high, and the weekly. What happens when price mitigates a zone within premium? We expect price to go to discount. So the daily and
Yes.
weekly are currently in a zone where we are expecting bearish moves. That's to tell you that the market is highly bearish. Do you understand? So now look at how it looks on the candlestick. If you notice, most of the invalidations that goes above these areas that are significant on line charts are just wicks, quick moves. I call them quick moves. These quick moves are not valid. You understand? They were not seen like to just boom, boom. When somebody wants to take you out, like snipe shots, most of these things are manipulations. So that is that. Now we have added an extra confirmation to our direction that we might be bearish. Okay. So now what we do is we look for areas within this zone that are likely to reverse this ideology we just crafted out of this chart. First of all, I would like to point out this as as a resistance level that got broken. This is now looking at it from support and resistance perspective. If this is a resistance level that got broken and price is currently retesting it, which I'm pretty sure price is still going lower because you can see there's a gap within this particular candle here. And the closest demand zone which we can find is at this point. Okay, this is kind of like a double bottom. So I'm not going to count on that. I can't risk my money on that. I would rather expect something like this, like a week, something like this. Like if you look, that was the same thing that happened here. Something like this happened. So that was the same thing that happened here. Something like this happened. So I don't really trust things like that. Mostly when I see things like this, double high, you expect things like this. If you see double bottom, you expect things like that. So and looking at it from this again, this is a very, very big double bottom. So you could see something very, very big too like this. Do you understand? Like, are you guys understanding what I'm doing?
Yes, sir.
So it has to, you have to just keep adding to reasons why you want to buy or sell. That's what you're doing. You're not here to draw beautiful chart. You're here to add reasons to why you want to buy or why you want to sell. It's as simple as that. So now let's move to the daily time frame so we can see a more closer price action. So remember we identified a resistance level around here that price broke. This would be a retest of that. And if price was going to respect that area, it would be to mitigate this area of interest. I know we said the weekly is bearish. So and I did mention that if we're identifying anything, we are basically trying to identify what? Obstacles that could hinder this prediction from happening. Okay, so if price was going to disrespect that or not find that valid, it would be to do something like this. So you now have a low, a high, a low, and a higher high. So that's a very bullish market. So that's basically one of the first areas where we can find price going the other direction. Okay, so let's identify. Now, at the same time, I would rather you pick this area and have that as an inducement, highly because of this break of structure here. And then also have this zone. You can see the fair value gap here. So these are the two only possible areas I will be saying within the daily that the price could go bullish for if we're not fully bearish. Do you understand? Because this guy broke this guy. And then this retracement never really filled the fair value gap. Instead, made it more valid, which means this would be an internal low. So there's still money below this, and this is an internal low that could highly get cleared out for this gap to be filled. Okay, so instead, we would have this as That's like a red dot. So we can identify that much clear. Even if we take our time to analyze just Euro USD, and then I break down the other ones easily, at least we know that we have that perspective and the aim of the day was achieved. We learned something new, you understand, or something to remind us of something we knew about but we forgot. So that's basically why we are here, not just to get it right, is to remember something. So in case we're missing out any knowledge, we can catch up. Now looking at this, we found some obstacles around these zones that could basically hold price. I'm not even going to count on this one because if price is going to mitigate, it's probably this, clearing out this. And then if this is not going to hold, we're probably seeing a stop hunt of this entire level. So we might see something like price heading down. If this doesn't hold, then we should be having something like this instead. Okay. So those are the two um views. I think it's coming from that end. Now let's look at this aspect of the range. We're now in the 4-hour time frame. This is the 4-hour time frame. I'm going to be sharing what I think from this side is happening. What do you guys what do you like before we do that? What do you guys think is going on there? If I was to look at this, the first thing I would pay attention to is it impulsive or is it corrective? Because impulsive and corrective price actions help us to tell if we are in a bearish trend or a retracement. Because I remember what I said about how the trend forms. Is either impulsive, corrective, impulsive, corrective, impulsive, corrective. That's for a bullish one. And impulsive, corrective, corrective, to the downside for a bearish one. So if this is a bearish trend that is likely to go for a long time, then you're going to be seeing impulsive, corrective, impulsive, correct, so is clearly a very, very powerful pullback. So it can clear out this, and get to this point with the momentum is riding in. If we're seeing something like, then exactly, then we could say maybe they are building up liquidity on this angle that could drive price higher. But at this point, there are lesser liquidity on this zone. We are seeing them pushing price more to the downside. So instead, price is aiming at clearing out liquidity. This is not aiming at building. This is aiming at clearing out. Okay, so it's more impulsive. And if I could see any liquidity being built, it's around this zone. Right, so this will be the liquidity. This will be the high. That broke the structure to the downside. Okay, so this would be, yeah, is if I was to be trading Euro USD right now, I'll be looking for sales. And this would be the areas of interest I'll be looking at. Obviously, this will be a low probability zone. I won't be jumping in on this like boom. But I'll have this highlighted, just if we see a pullback to this zone. And this area we find here is also a point where price could basically play ping pong from, like clear out this, head back up, then clear out this. So something similar to this could happen. Or price could just, head straight down to fulfill the agenda of the day. But this would be basically my areas of interest. So these areas will be my areas of interest, but I won't have this highlighted because I don't really trust that, and I won't be gambling anything around that. So I would have this. I don't even trust this either. I'm going to delete that as well. So this is the information. So when sending it to the channel, people can understand why I have that zone highlighted. So the explanation was for you to understand why I'm highlighting those areas. The information is for the guys on the channel so they can understand why I highlight those areas. So even when you're sending charts to your channels, you should be aware of things like this. Most of the information you identify should not be just because you want to identify them. It should be explaining what you think, because nobody can see what's in your head. Do you understand? Nobody knows the analysis you did when nobody was watching. People only are aware of what you place on your charts before you share them. So when you're sharing charts, try to give a little bit of explanation and try to keep it clean as possible. Do you understand? So they can also understand why you do some certain things. So the knowledge keeps flowing. And that's why they'll follow you actually. So nobody follows anybody that don't really know why. So they have to have a reason why they want to see your chart. So that should be because you know how to explain a storyline to give information to why you might be thinking the price is bullish or why it's bearish. Do you understand? So from what we just identified and what we have on the screen, anyone has any question or any other view? What do you think?